Hello again everyone, Saka here and welcome to Dwarf Fortress, a game that strives to be the best story generator, world generator video games has ever seen. If you've played games like RimWorld, you kind of know what Dwarf Fortress is, but the reason I'm playing Dwarf Fortress is for a few reasons. One, the adventure mode is coming soon, which will allow you to take the role of one character in this world that we are about to create and go on quests RPG style. The other is just for the sheer amount of storytelling possibility that this game offers. Not only is it a game like RimWorld where we take 7 dwarves, we try to help them survive and thrive in a hostile world as best we can, but it also generates histories of every character we run into. Whether they invade us or come to visit us, we can read their entire life story, as well as tracking everything from every finger, every toe, every tooth of every being in the world, which is kind of exciting. So let's get started with a brand new fortress. The play style is going to be slow and methodical. If you've seen my tribal RimWorld start, you kind of know what to expect. I'm not the type to lay out the entire fortress at once and have them dig for 7 years. I'm one room at a time, think what I need, and do it at that time. So if you enjoy that style, this playthrough will be for you. Also, I haven't played in 2 years. I played it when the Steam version first came out and haven't touched it since, so I am very rusty. I'm going to forget some things, but don't worry. I'll edit out all the bits where I'm confused and looking up things, so you won't miss any placement or any work orders, anything like that. And I'll be going slow enough that if you haven't seen this game before, you kind of understand what's going on. So first, we need to create a brand new world, letting us know what kind of world we're going to generate. Essentially, a medium world to keep the processing size manageable. We're going to pre-generate 100 years of history, which means the world will start at 0. It will play 100 years generating all the NPCs, towns, artifacts, objects, everything in the world. Medium civilization, sites, beasts, and savagery. And to make our lives easier, we're going to keep minerals occurring everywhere so that we don't run into a bottleneck. So we'll go ahead and create this world and see what kind of world it generates. So here we are then. After a short period of time, it has generated 11,800 historical figures we can read about in the encyclopedia, with 58,500 events that has already happened before we even played, and we can go through and read about every single one of them. So a nice layout of the world here, being nice and connected to all the different civilizations via land, which is important for our trading and our traders that will come to visit us, as well as elves and humans perhaps, and occasionally a goblin raid. We definitely don't want to be down here on the island, but the mainland looks fine to me. We will keep this land and see where we're going to embark. So our main menu here, Fortress, is the Dwarf Fortress mode, the standard mode of taking our 7 dwarves and building up a fortress of our own. Legends is where that encyclopedia lives. So whenever we meet, say, a human fighter comes to live with us and drink in our tavern and fight monsters for us, we can go into this Legends mode and read all about them and see what kind of person decided to come live with us. Adventure mode was that mode I was talking about, where we will take command of one NPC in this world that we just generated with all of this history, and even possibly our fortress, and adventure around by ourselves or with a party. So let's start Fortress mode. It will pass 2 weeks of time to get things settled. We will skip the tutorial, but of course, if you have any tips, put them in the comments below. But if I have missed something very important, like say, hey, don't forget about this, let me know. Like I said, I'm very rusty here. So let's choose an origin civilization, and these are the 4 dwarven civilizations that has formed. First, the banded fortress down here in the south with 2,900 dwarves and 42 unique different cities. That sounds pretty cool. The braided wheels has 1,100 dwarves out here in the east with 16 locations. The roughness of striking has 2,600 dwarves down here in the southwest with 37. And the Wheel of Letters has 1,000 dwarves, and they are really scattered, with 14 sites really sparse. We can see queens, kings of each civilization, the dwarves that have settled. So essentially, who do we want to fall under the command of? Let me take a gander here. So to have the most support, as it were, we can join the banded fortress, although with 42 sites and 2,900 population, they may be the first to wage war, which may bring war to our doorstep if we aren't ready for it. The 1,100, the 2,600, I kind of like these 1,000 with 14 different cities. I don't think they're going to be at war, or at least declare war. They might have war declared upon them. But I like the woodlands and whatnot. Let's take a gander at the actual land and see if anything tickles our fancy here. We can see cliff work. We kind of want to settle in kind of flat land. We will be burrowing, of course, but we don't want to be fighting a mountain right away. So someplace over here might be fine. And we don't want to embark just yet. Let's read about this land here. So it needs trees, and this is sparse trees. A nice temperate climate. Some woodlands calm over here with shallow clay, shallow sand, deep soil. A light aquifer, meaning there's going to be some layers that will leak water out. We have to be prepared for that, but it's not a heavy aquifer. It's not going to be like drilling into a water line at home. It'll be a nice trickle that we can either smooth those walls or wall it up if we don't want that aquifer leaking. That also might be a good place to set up a well if we can just drill into the stone, let it sort of fill up, and put a well over it. Looking nearby, humans are a half day's travel west, so these look to be, yes, human hamlets, and humans are not hostile to us, and there's even a dwarven hillock right there. And goblins are a day's travel northwest, so goblins are going to be up in this region. But I like the calm surroundings. I like the woodland trees. With the warm temperature, we don't have to worry about the water freezing on us. So something like right here, if we can get that water in right in the tree line, getting this little nestle, I think that would be really cool. So let's embark over here in this general vicinity here. Heavily forested with thick vegetation, calm surroundings. Yes, indeed. Cool. So let's do a 4x4 right here. And, yep, letting us know about that light aquifer. We'll go ahead and confirm. And let's see. Do we want to roll with just a randomly generated group of dwarves? We might. We'll keep enemies on normal and the economy on normal, not fiddle with any of the fiddly bits. But yeah, we'll go ahead and play now and see what kind of dwarves join us on the adventure. Let's go. And here we are. After a journey from the mountain homes to the wilderness, our harsh trek has come to an end. We will make an outpost for all the glory of Lolor. And the dingoes might get hungry here, so there might be some dingoes around. And our place is called Shovthindok. Mystery Attic is the proper name of our outpost here. Strike the earth. So here we are. Whoops. So here are our starting band of dwarves, and there's a few things we need to do to get ready before we unpause the simulation. First of all, we'll see who we brought with us. Our citizens Moses Iluncrast, the miner, Izum Dekumansel, the woodworker, Ilral Uzolgit, the mason, Uzol Limudelesh, the stonecrafter, Zeneg Letmos Duthner, the fish dwarf, Rigoth Edsmis, the planter, and Latast Nethid, the expedition leader. So we do have someone who's good at fishing, woodcutting, and mining. As far as our animals, we have a war dog that came with us with 2 stray female dogs here. So no male dogs. These dogs will be what we're rolling with unless we can get one from a trade. We have 2 female cats and 1 stray female kitten. So no cat explosion. But we do have a male and female yak, cow, and bull. So that will be good for milk, and I think maybe some fur. That might be pretty cool. We have a stray mule foal that is tame, a stray water buffalo calf, female, and a male stray blue peachick that we brought with us. Outstanding. As far as there's nothing else on the map. Not even a rat, not even an echidna, not even a bird nearby. So that is good. We have some time to get organized. And as far as mining goes, I think we've brought a few picks. Let me take a look at the stocks here. Aha, 3 copper picks we brought with us here. So we can assign essentially 3 miners to do the job. Let's see, in labor, so only the selected do this. The planter should be hard at work. The woodworker will be hard at work. Our stone crafter won't be too busy, so they can mine, as well as our fisher dwarf, as we didn't settle right next to the water. So those three will get to work if mining is needed. As far as our woodcutter goes, Izum will be our dedicated wood cutter. As far as a hunter go, we didn't bring a hunter with us, unfortunately, but there didn't seem to be any wildlife around. As far as planters go, our proficient planter, only the selected does this. Regoth will be able to get those seeds in the ground well and harvest. Fishing dwarves, we have, our proficient fisher dwarf in Zeneg. If we can come across a lake or anything like that, he might be able to go fishing. Everyone can gather plants. No, let's say only the selected. Or is this the planter? Is this the plant above ground? Yeah, let's say everyone does this in case we need to collect some plants off the surface. Everyone will engrave, haul, be orderlies, all that good stuff. As far as standing orders goes, do not weave all thread. We will determine, as thread is a finite resource, what gets webbed or what gets weaved, and we are not going to collect webs from the cavern automatically as soon as we bust through. We don't want everyone scrambling down to get spider webs in case of enemies. As far as hauling, everything is awesome. Refuse and dumping, I think we can keep that. Sieges and forbidding. Forbid to use ammunition so they don't go running out and chasing their arrows if they're shot. As far as children's chores go, they won't be on burial duty and they won't be on refuse hauling. We want to keep the children from seeing dead bodies or anything such as that, but they'll be able to milk, haul, feed prisoners, all that good stuff. And only the farmers harvest, so that will make sure that we get the maximum yield from our farms. Hopefully some migrants will come, who's also good at farming. We can help. Kitchen is also very important, so we can cook the horse sweetbread and the pond turtles that we brought, but we do not want to cook with plump helmets as they give off seeds that we will need to replant. And if we cook them, those seeds are used in the food and we eat them and they're gone. But if we brew them, those seeds are left behind and we can replant those plump helmets. And the dwarven wine and ale, I don't know if I actually want to be able to cook with those. We may need that for drinking, but I'll leave that on for now. And as far as stone use, we won't change any of that. This basically says, what stones are in the game and what can you use them for? And there's quite a geologist's fantasy as far as the stone use. So Litasnethid is set as our expedition leader, our militia commander. No one has relevant skills, and I doubt we brought any weapons or armor, so we can keep the militia commander open for now. We might get a migrant by the time we need an army who might be a better militia commander, and that is awesome. Manager, though, let's put Litas, our adequate organizer. Chief medical dwarf, no one has any doctor skills. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Our broker, so we could use our miner, but let's keep our expedition leader negotiating with our trades. And our bookkeeper, also, Regoth, our planter, is a proficient record keeper, and that is going to make these numbers a whole lot more accurate once we get him in office, and we need to get our expedition leader in office. Outstanding. As far as what came with us, we have one anvil, and we do have some quote-unquote armor, just dresses really, and a pigtail shirt. As far as bags, we have our seed bags, as well as, some empty bags that we are going to be able to store things in. As far as barrels, we brought our ale, our fish, wine and ale, and all that good stuff. That is on the cart. We brought 3 empty buckets. We brought 3 ropes, which can be used for that well. We brought some 5 cloth that we might be able to make bags out of, 3 crutches in case of injury. We have 60 drinks there or abouts, dwarven ale and wine. As far as fish goes, we brought 3 pond turtles, or 15 pond turtles. Footwear, a bunch of shoes, coyote leathers, pigtail. We brought some socks. Yep, dwarves love their socks. Handwear, lots of gloves. Good to keep the hands protected. Leg wear, just basic pants. Logs, our 3 oak logs are part of our wagon. Once we break down our wagon, everything is awesome. Meat, we brought 15 horse sweetbreads. We brought all of our plump helmets. We brought 3 quivers. We brought 30 seeds, pigtails, dimple cumps, plump helmets, cave wheat, and sweet pods, and rock nuts. We will do some crop rotation there. 3 splints in case of injury, 5 threads that they were going to weave into cloth if we didn't stop them. We brought a wheelbarrow to haul heavy rock with and a step ladder to assist them in building. And our weapons, bunch of battle axes, 2 warhammers, a spear, and 2 maces. So if we needed a quick response force, we could do that, and that is what is on our wagon. And let's meet our dwarves before we engage, shall we? Uzol, our stone crafter, has no job. 73-year-old female, disdains loyalty, not greedy, high kinesthetic sense. Pusillanimous? Sure. Disdains competition, not dutiful. Note to self, keep her out of the army. As far as what she's wearing, standard pigtail. She's got an assortment of pigtail socks, mole Marion shoes, pigtails, and llama wool shirt. She's in good health. That should be fine. No medical history. She is very rarely sick. And, okay, so does this mean she is very rarely agile? Or is she very rarely sick, but she is agile? I think that's what it is. Basically, the description of her, as far as relations go, she is friends with everyone in the group, which is outstanding. We've got a bunch of close friends that departed together. That's going to make getting along awesome with her deity, Rirasongit Otik, her god. She has a great kinesthetic sense, a sum of patience and a way with words, but she has an iffy memory and poor creativity, so don't make her an artist or musician either. Just keep her on the stone crafting. Got it. Our miner Moses Hale Tomb, 78-year-old female, proficient miner, skilled appraiser, who is musical with high stamina, essential for a miner, wearing the basics, no wounds, health problems or medical history. She's indefatigable and quick to heal, so that's a good start. Skills, appraiser and miner with no combat skills. She is a competent musician, so if we start getting some other folks in who can mine, or they become good miners as well, perhaps Moses could be our musician, dancer, singer in our inn, perhaps. She knows the prim style of musical form, the smile of bewilderment dance form, and the berries choreography, sure. She has natural ability with music, but she has an iffy memory with a little difficulty with words and poor analytical abilities. Yep, she has all of her preferences and needs. That's important to keep in mind. Izum, our woodworker, 75-year-old female, pretty good, proficient carpenter, competent woodcover, novice wood burner, novice bowyer. So she's good with wood. Tough, high stamina, and good spatial sense. That's what I like to see. No treatment or medical history. Incredibly tough and slow to tire, but she is susceptible to disease. We'll have to keep that in mind. And she is actually kindred spirits with the expedition leader. That's good. And so far, all of our followers follow the same deity, which will make temple building nice and easy. She has a great feel for the surrounding space, read emotions well, and a good memory, but she has meager kinesthetic sense and little to natural inclination toward music. So the anti-musician, there's her preferences and needs. So our expedition leader, Latast, 84-year-old female, an adequate organizer who says this won't turn out well. Well, that bodes well. Disdains friendship, disdains peace, overcautious. Interesting. No health problems though. Quick to heal and tough. She is interesting, but she's weak, clumsy, and susceptible to disease. So she gets sick and then she heals very quickly. Either that or this is physical and this is immune system wise. Interesting enough. So she disdains friendship, but she does have close friends and kindred spirits, and she does serve another deity entirely. Thoughts and memories, personality, little patience. So she wants to get the job done. Zeneg Cobalt Guard, our Fisher Dwarf, 88-year-old male, healthy. I've been well, good with languages, poor memory, disdains loyalty. A lot have poor kinesthetic sense. They can't move around that well, but he is strong, slow to heal. All right, so he might be a good military member if push comes to shove, literally and figuratively. Looking at, the ability to focus, good language, good creativity, poor intuition, poor analytical abilities, poor empathy, and a poor memory. Yeah, just stick to fishing if you please. Ilral, our mason, 57-year-old, proficient mason, stone cutter, stone carver, and engraver. So he is our stone dwarf, gracious, intolerant, incurious, strong, over-relevant on advice. So he might need to talk to quite a few people. He's very strong, which I guess is good for stone working for sure. Close friends with everyone, a long-term acquaintance. So Ilral and Zeneg go way back, the mason and the fisher. Looking at the personality, good creativity, which is good for stone carving. You're coming up with cool designs, but he has an iffy sense for music, meager kinesthetic, and poor empathy. So keep carving your stone there, Ilral. And last but not least, our bookkeeper, Rigoth, who is a proficient record keeper. That's what I like to see. Nothing like a good friend, he says. A lot of good things. Looking at his health, he hasn't been injured before. He is indefatigable and incredibly quick to heal, but he is weak. So keep track of him then. As far as his personality goes, a feel for social relationships and ability to read emotion. He has a questionable spatial sense, a really bad memory, and a lousy intellect, but I guess he likes numbers, so that is all well and good. So that is our basic setup, everyone. So we are here. Let's take a big zoom out, get a lay of the land. So plenty of trees nearby with a few ponds, so the fisher dwarf might actually be able to fish something out of these little bodies of water here. Let's zoom in right here and see if we got some fresh water. So a murky pool of stagnant water. I don't know if the fisher dwarf should fish over here or not, but I tell you what we'll do. We'll go ahead and set up a fishing zone right over here for our fisher dwarf to partake in. So if he wants to try to come and fish, more power to him. Whoops. And then that should be awesome. So as far as layout goes, what am I thinking? So a lot of trees right here. If we dug right into the side of this little hill, we would be, right under tree roots. Essentially, if we knocked the tree down, that would leave a hole in our roof. So I don't want to go all the way right here. But what we could do is we could possibly dig in, say, over here. That way, once we get over here, we won't be under the tree roots so badly. We'll have these tree roots here to contend with. But if we just chop the trees, say, up here by the wagon, I think that would be okay. A little bit of a haul, though. Try to make our trip as easy for our dwarves as possible. Now, I do like kind of this opening here. All right. So I'm feeling, if we say dig in right here and we go down, we won't have possibly so many trees to dig under. If we do a 2-level, that would be awesome. So really all we would need to do is we would bring the big haul from our wagon down to our entrance. And then possibly what we can do is set up in the future, say an inn right here or something like that. Have our tavern on the ground. And then have our dwarf fortress below it, providing for the tavern and then doing all of our business. And being on a hill, I think we could be quite defensible as soon as we get some archers and, that's further down the road. So that's initial planning. That's what I'm thinking. It's a shame this is stagnant water. If this was like a running river, we could tap into the side of this perhaps. But we will cross that bridge when we get there. So what I will do is I will make this episode 0, sort of the setup phase. Episode 1 will be released at the same time as this one. So it should be in the playlist. You should see it right away. And we can get going with our Dwarf Fortress. So like, share, and subscribe if you are so bold. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I'll see you shortly for our first delve into the depths. Take care.